It's Watson. You can rock with this. Everybody in the building, you can rock with this. Put your hands up high, you can rock with this. Hip hop music, you can rock with this. Yo, it's Watson. You can rock with this. With your hands in the air, you can rock with this. Make some noise out there, you can rock with this. Real life, real music, you can rock with this.
Hello, and thanks for tuning in. This is Conversations with Watson. I'm super excited that you're here. And today I'm going to be talking a little bit with you about a single. It's called A Long Way to Go. And I'm just going to highlight some of my favorite parts of the lyrics, tell you a little bit of the meaning behind the song, and give you some life applications. All right, so a little bit about me. I just enjoy making music for you. I go by Watson Tunez, and you can learn more about me at watsontunes.com. That's my website. And so I look forward to connecting with you. Let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing, I want to tell you a little bit about some of my favorite lines in the song. There are 6 memorable lines that I think are, and again, please take a look at the actual song, listen to it. You can hit me up on YouTube. You can search for it, Watson Tunez, Tunes with a Z. Long Way to Go is the song, and that way you can actually hear the whole song. So some of the top 3 memorable lines for me is the number 1 is set in our old ways. No one really wants to change. There's one thing that's constant, and that's change. I really like that line because it's a little bit ironic how, yes, change is about change, but at the same time, because things change all the time, there's a sense of the consistency with that. So it's kind of ironic in a sense. Another memorable line says, never allow fear to creep inside of your bones or let your heart be corrupted with evil and turn into stone. So that one, I really like that line because it talks about keeping your heart pure and not letting it get corrupted by evil. And in the third line that I really like, it says, there's no going back to the life we lived, the life we used to know. And that's part of the hook. And so check that out. And the reason I like that part is because it's like each and every day we have to make a commitment to ourselves that we are going to live in the reality of someone that wants change to occur, not in our past. And so that's like a commitment. So I really like that. In verse 2, my memorable lines are, we write this not because we're trying to be self-righteous. Compassion leads our hearts to love others well through our actions. So I really like this line because it's about compassion. It's about compassion. We should lead with compassion in our daily life. And everything we should do should be with the lens of compassion, which is a deep concern for other people. We should love other people the way that we love ourselves. And so that's an aspect of compassion that I really like. And in the second verse, I really also like the line where I say, we got to stop acting like we're victims of tragedy. We've got a long way to go until we reach our full capacity. I like that line because we have to take responsibility for our own actions. We can't assume that other people, even though they've wronged us and we faced a lot of tragedy, we can't look at ourselves as the victims. There becomes a point where we need to take responsibility for our lives. And so that's why I really like that line, because it talks about how, in order for us to reach our capacity, we have to take responsibility for our actions. And then finally, on the second verse, I like, corruption blows up like a grenade just struck in our country. When the streets are flooded with angry riots, people are hungry. That's a vivid imagery of my native country, Haiti, because there, when people are like very hungry or they're upset about something, there's a lot of riots that come. And so, in fact, when I was in Haiti, I actually wrote this song, and I remember there was a lot of unrest and civil unrest happening. And so this is a constant thing that we have to, pay attention to in Haiti. The next thing that I'm gonna talk to you about is briefly my heart behind the song. So I've got some questions here that some people that may be curious about. So I want to answer them. The number one is what inspired you to write the song? Again, I this was during the time that I was in Haiti in an impact trip with Beyond Me Initiative. We had won over $25,000, not only with our partnership with Drew Brees, but through our efforts with our music. We were able to win a lot of funds, and so I got to lead another trip down to Haiti, and we got an opportunity to distribute those funds to multiple different organizations, and it was really really amazing. We got to help children that were with their education. We got to help rebuild homes, and we got to help provide clean water. It was absolutely amazing. But in the midst of that, I also realized there was a lot of tragedy that was still happening. I could still see remnants of like the earthquake. So I was like, man, we got a long way to go. And that's kind of what inspired that song. The next question is, how do you find determination to keep going even through the obstacles of life? And my answer to that is that sometimes you have to keep going. You don't have a choice. Just remember that you always fail if you give up. And then another question is, what does this song mean to you? Well, to me personally, this song is that, we don't have another life. This is it. Once we pass, we pass. And so we can't keep looking backwards. We have to keep pressing on. And we have to keep going in this journey no matter what. Never give up. What's your favorite line in the song? My favorite line in the song is to lift, is what I say towards the end and second verse. To lift ourselves out of the dust and rebuild our communities, it starts with us. So let's live beyond ourselves, shine our light tonight. With Beyond Me Initiative, it'll be all right. So at the beginning of the song, I just want to say in like 2014 area when I wrote it, I was actually in the process of trying to start Beyond Me Initiative, which is our nonprofit counterpart to Beyond Me Music Group. And so I was just doing like a little plug for Beyond Me Initiative, but the main idea I was trying to focus on was that it's about us taking personal responsibility to lift ourselves out of this dust. I realized that like no matter how much aid floods into Haiti, no matter how much people try to help us, if there's not a sense of us ourselves like willing to help ourselves, nothing's going to happen, you know. So we have to be willing to step up and create change in our lives. Another question is, what do you want people to get out of the song? Well, I definitely want you to be encouraged. I want you to be inspired to keep going through some of life's toughest moments. Obviously, the song mentions my country, Haiti. We're struggling, but we keep going. We persevere. So it's about persevering through the difficulties of life so that we can become better people. What was the production process for the song like? Basically, a producer sent me the song, and I really liked it. I had the idea or conceived the idea in Haiti. Loved the song. I loved the singer in it, and I was like, "Hey, let's do it." So I hopped on. I wrote two of the verses. I tried to find another artist to collaborate with, but that didn't pan out. So it just happened to be me, which is completely okay. And we put it together. So we hope that you really like it. All right, and then the last little segment here before I let you go, I just wanted to pull out some life lessons that you can learn from the song. The first one is that we should embrace change. Change is constant. No matter if we like it or not, we need to be flexible. We need to be willing to change. And so the more that we're flexible and we're willing to change and we embrace it, the easier the change will be. Number two, overcome fear. In order for us to be successful, we have to be willing to overcome our fear. So, and one of the ways that I find myself like afraid of to change is because I don't know the uncertainty, but it's embracing that uncertainty and fighting through the failure and the discouragement. That's how we're going to become successful. So never allow fear to enter our hearts and disrupt us from where we need to go. Number 3, rise up from your past. It's important that we know that bad things happen in life, but how we respond to them, that's important. And so we can live in a sense of always sadness, perpetual sadness, and be unable to move because by the gravity of loss. But we have to choose to rise. If we choose to rise from the pain and treasure the most precious gift that we have, which is life itself, we're actually going to be able to know that we can persevere and we can keep going no matter what. Number 4, be compassionate. It's important that when we touch people, not only with our hands, but we touch people with our hearts and with the words that we say and with our actions, we make the world a better place. So it's important for us that when I say it's compassion that leads us, to love others well, I really mean that. I mean that this world runs on compassion. And so the more compassion that we are and we can show to each other, the better that we can make this world. Seek justice, number 5. So one of the most important thing is that there's a lot of injustice in this world and that it's important that we fight for it. It's important that we care for the suffering of other people and that we see that when something is wrong, we lift up our voices and we do something to make it right. This world isn't perfect, but we can't stand by and let evil persist. We have to stand up and do something. Number 6, be the victor, not the victim. I kind of mentioned that earlier about how it's important that to look at ourselves as victorious. It's important. I'll share something personally, like with this music endeavor. I have a lot of doubt sometimes. I doubt if a song will really resonate with people. I doubt if, I just sometimes as an artist, I doubt my worth. But I can't do that because I believe that this is my calling that God has given to me is to be an artist, to inspire people through the music that I make. And so if I let doubt and I let discouragement and I look at myself as a victim, then I will never be able to achieve anything. So if I see myself as victorious, I am victorious. If I see myself as a victim, I am the victim. So I have to remember to have a mindset that this is achievable, this is possible, and that's how I'm going to overcome it. All right, I hope that our little time together was valuable for you. Again, this is Conversations with Watson, and hit me up. I'd love to connect with you. Visit my website, watsontunes with a Z.com. Hit me up on Facebook, again, Watson Tunes with a Z. And I look forward to getting to connect with you. And until next time, stay tuned. Bye for now.